Welcome back to Rainy Day Weather. Today we're going to be talking about the severe weather that's coming this Monday and Tuesday, a possible tornado outbreak. But first, starting off with our satellite imagery here, got a decent amount going on. Some storms that were left over from last night actually coming across Texas, Oklahoma, and parts of Kansas. And then I'm expecting some general rumbles of thunder, less severe weather out in your southeast region from that daytime heating. Really summer-like look here, but our next system that we're watching actually is just about to approach the coast. So let's get right into that. Here we go. So first, we're going to start off with the Storm Prediction Center outlook for this coming Monday, April 28th. And I really want to point out this 15% risk and then this 30% risk in that orange there. This risk really centered around Iowa, and then that stretches all the way down from Oklahoma to Wisconsin. And this is really concerning, guys. For a day 5 risk, I believe this is pretty high. This is the highest level the Storm Prediction Center can give out, especially for Iowa, centered around this region. And really, when we see this type of risk from the Storm Prediction Center, that's when we can start to pinpoint where the upper level mechanics are putting into play, and that's what we're going to go look at next. But I really want to point out possible outbreak within all of here, but man, really want to watch out that 30% across multiple areas, really decently far north for this time of year, and not a threat we've seen really stretch this far north. So with that, a couple other areas to point out before we head on to the next point. We got Oklahoma City, we got Kansas City also involved in here, and we have parts of maybe northern Chicago. And I just want to also stress how this is right now. It's forecast. We're still a couple days out. This is for Monday, so got the weekend to go through. And as the storm pushes on shore, we'll then start to know. So with that, let's go on to the mechanics of why the Storm Prediction Center is highlighting this area. Now, looking at our moisture right now, you can see some moisture setting up around the south. Texas getting some high dew points, and we want to progress this throughout the day. So here's today, moisture leveling up for our current risk that's happening, our slight 2 out of 5 risk. But let's progress on. This is your Friday. So you can see it starts to get squashed down a bit by this high pressure that sets up, bringing some very warm temperatures to this region. Lots of warm temperatures, especially for the northeast and central plains. But as we can start to see this moisture starts to get drawn up, really seeing the moisture starting to set up. It's going to precede the actual main threat. So here's Sunday morning pushing forward, start to shift more eastward, and then it centers right around where we're going to see this severe weather. So here we go. Here's Monday peak heating, and you can see this full-on triangle. We got the front dry line setting up right across the central plains, just west of Oklahoma, and plenty of moisture setting up around that Iowa center where we can see the pretty extreme weather. So progressing that further, this actually starts to flatten out Tuesday morning and becomes more of a positive outlook here, positive sloped outlook with the moisture drawing all the way up into Canada actually. So some really moist air. That is one ingredient that we're watching. So let's move on to the next ingredient now. Now let's go on to our bulk shear, which is another ingredient that we need. We need that upper level wind to be whipping around so we can vent the storms. And so if there's any chance of them becoming severe, that's the upper level support really helps them with that high wind speed. So right now we can see pretty zonal flow. That means we have straight across the country, not very conducive to any severe weather development up in this region here, as at least for right now. But progressing this, you can really keep your eye down here. We're going to see the system push on right there. They got the low setting across California. You can see this dip in the bulk shear. And then as we progress throughout the weekend, here's Sunday, this starts to eject past the Rockies, and then boom, right there, you can start to see this jet streak set up. And what a jet streak means is we got really fast winds right over a specific located area. Now we have the moisture and the high winds. Let's progress the high winds a little bit more. This is Monday at peak heating time, so matching up the same region we were looking at earlier. Progressing that further really sets up right across the Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin region. So I wouldn't be surprised if within the next couple of outlooks, if this trend holds, that will inch northward the risk here. keep continuing on. We're moving on to Tuesday, where it starts to flatten out a bit. And before this ends, we'll also go over the Tuesday outlook, mainly focusing on Monday. But yeah, you can see the jet stream starts to really set up across this region as well. Might see some severe weather pushing later into your week now on Wednesday. So with that, let's go over our final ingredient that we're going to talk about here about the severe weather. And the final ingredient is a nice map to show us where the troughs and where the high pressures are, where the lows. First starting off with right now, see lots of zonal flow, lots of those warm colors. That means it's the pressure, the height of the pressure is above normal. That's where we're going to see the more calm weather. We're still going to see some convection up here, more daytime heating related. However, we're going to bring in where our system is really easy to spot where exactly our system's coming from off to the west. Pushing forward gets really deep trough. Might get some decent amount of rain out of California from this and some large waves. Keep that in mind for the waves out in the west coast. And then kind of calms down, but you can see the energy ejects out. You really have to keep a close eye. Ejects out right here. So you would really look for right on the right side of where you'd see the severe weather. The combo of these right here. And that's where we'd be looking for the severe weather, really lining up with all of our ingredients together. Let's bring up the peak heating. So yeah, right where this kind of draws up northward in that northeastward direction, those lines are following a line, the height, that is where we look exactly for the severe weather. Really great large scale tool, because for severe weather, you have the ingredients that we just went over, and then here, this is the catch-all, the more long range. You look for the setup, you get got the really large ridge in the east coast, and then you have the sinking air, the low pressure out to the left. So these combos of ingredients really conducive to this final storm development that we're going to go over. So lastly, let's go to the future radar so we can figure out what these storms may look like and how the models are currently resolving them. So looking at our current radar here, a couple of storms out in Nebraska and Kansas there, but progressing it on so we can see our system. Here's our system right there. Kind of hard to tell. You got some rain and snow in the Sierra Nevada mountains over in California, pushing eastward. Low ejects out east of the Rockies. And you can start to see how the models are starting to resolve this. So pushing it back. This is Monday morning. Some thunderstorms, widespread thunderstorms across the east. And keep in mind, this is just a Euro run. So it could look a bit different. And then right there, I think that's where we're seeing the severe weather risk. Right in here, we can see a nice front dropping down. A couple of long range, maybe straight line wind threats here. The Euro is going to be really hard at figuring out, if there's going to be supercell activity or not. Looking at, I'm pretty sure, yeah, the supercell parameter was decently high, so we could see supercells probably along this front. Again, lining up with all of our analysis of where the ingredients are, including the moisture, the bulk shear, the difference of heights, and boom, we got that verifying pretty largely on our future radar, pushing more onto late night Monday. Again, these seem to form squall lines now, pushing through long lines of thunderstorms and leaving behind some pretty large wind, and then dying down by your Monday or your Tuesday afternoon, excuse me. But progressing a little bit further, looks like Wednesday, or this is Tuesday night now, that front actually extends from New York all the way down to Texas. So this is more of a Tuesday threat. Kind of interesting setup here. Maybe lots of straight line wind threat for this one. The Monday, though, maybe mix of the tornado and high wind threat. This one, though, looking more of the more high wind, maybe some more isolated tornadoes. Still a lot to figure out for the mesoscale, the microscale. That means the difference between tornadoes and the straight line winds. So with that, I think that wraps up the most of it. Let's go back to the satellite and we'll wrap it up together. And looking at the Pacific Ocean for this movement, you can see the storm just at the top of the screen right where my cursor is, moving eastward. It's going to start to go towards California here. But yeah, I got some activity out in the Pacific Ocean, really driving their next storm threat. So with that, guys, stay weather aware, stay tuned on the update for the forecast. If you like these long form videos, let me know in the comments below. I'm on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook as well. I appreciate any of subscriptions from you guys, subscribers. It really helps me know you guys like this type of content so I can keep producing it for you. We are getting really close to 400 subscribers, so I really appreciate the support over the past month. It's been really nice and having a great time. Also, live stream on TikTok during severe weather events, so if you like severe weather live coverage, I try to do that as well. So thank you guys so much for the support over the past few weeks, and I hope you guys stay safe, stay weather aware, and stay tuned for the next severe weather outbreak. Thank you guys.